Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I am your host, Jayden Ginsweider. Joining me here is my co-host, Shane Price, former DDT Ironman Heavy Metalweight Champion, Shane Price. How you doing this week, Shane?
For all of 30-odd seconds. I'm good.
Yep. Hey, it still counts. A little bit of a late night edition here, late night at Sound Peak Studios.
I just got off work like an hour ago.
I got off work and immediately drove up here, so here we are. Starting off, this is our first episode of June, so we need to decide who for each of us was the May Performer of the Month. So this can go any way you want to take it. It could be a wrestler, a tag team, a commentator, ring announcer, manager, wherever you want to go with it. So Shane, for you, May of 2025, who gets Performer of the Month?
Hold on. I got to see how many matches she had before I do anything else. You first.
Okay. So just there, a little hint there for our our not eagle-eyed, but for our detailed listeners, he said she, so he's looking at some list of Joshi matches right now. For me, pretty easy. It's Hangman Adam Page. He put on a match with Will Ospreay that I said last week instantly became one of my favorite matches of all time, certainly one of my favorite matches of the year. And I think if you put on something that's instantly in my favorite match of all time list, somebody from that match has to be number one. I felt like a couple reasons I picked Hangman. One, I felt like his promos going into that match were better than Ospreay's. Ospreay's were still good. I just think Hangman, has really found his stride this month with the promos in the build to that. And then two, I can't give it to Ospreay with that haircut.
Yeah.
So I had to go Hangman. So Shane, which Stardom wrestler is this for you?
I was thinking about it being Hangman or Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
It's also not a Stardom wrestler either.
Oh, okay.
It's
Marigold?
Mayu Iwatani.
Oh, okay. So freshly Marigold.
Fresh Marigold. Either that or it was going to be her or Nanae Takahashi because she retired. But I think Mayu just had a better month.
Definitely a newsworthy month for her. She was definitely more on my radar than she usually is with the Marigold debut and everything. So I get that. Yeah. That's a good one. On to the news of the week. Speaking of Stardom, former Stardom standout Mariah May left AEW, took a trip.
An hour and a half
I would
south.
say didn't go far. Went from Jacksonville to Orlando. Makes her debut in NXT. Just thoughts on the whole situation, her leaving, her debuting in NXT, everything.
I mean, she didn't do much on her debut in NXT.
I mean, it was pretty much the same. Just ran back the same Ricky Starks debut.
Yeah.
Dude, I miss Takeover crowd debuts. You know what I mean?
Can you
Can you imagine if they waited until Great American Bash and it was just Mariah May in the front row with some random ass TNA wrestler or something?
Do you remember who was in the front row of the Takeover Chicago's we did? I remember EC3 was one.
EC3 was one. Takeover Chicago, that was 2017, right? Okay, EC3 was one. I feel like there was one women. Was EO? Was EO one of them? Or Kyrie was one of them?
No, I would have known.
Okay.
I don't think it was, but
I probably
remember.
Talk about Mariah May. I'll see if I can find my notes from that show.
I'll be honest. As soon as I saw her tweet, "Don't hinder gender" in April 2017, I knew it was over.
There's also the tweet where she's like, "Triple H is my favorite wrestler of all time," or whatever. Which I guess you do you, girl, but nobody else has ever said that. I don't think Triple H is even Stephanie McMahon's favorite wrestler of all time.
I don't think Triple H is Triple H's favorite wrestler of all time.
No, obviously Shawn Michaels is. Here we go. Where was it? Just there. Takeover Chicago 2 notes. But yeah, no, those the old NXT crowd debuts were the best. It was Kairi Sane.
Oh.
And Keith Lee was with EC3.
Oh yeah, okay.
Those were the three on that show. Incredible show. Incredible main event match. Speaking of some of my favorite matches of all time, that Ciampa Gargano street fight
That was
Cheers.
so good. It was hard to watch in person, but it was so
Yeah.
good.
Awesome. All right. So anything else from Mariah May? She will be getting a name change. They reported. We don't know what it is yet.
That's so lame.
Do you think she's
lame.
Derek?
My name is Derek December.
So some good news here. We got JR home from the hospital after successful colon cancer surgery. So let's go JR.
Bad news.
Happy for that.
Flair is tweeting while drunk about it.
Flair's Twitter is man, I mean it's an interesting place. I
Have
think
you
deserving
noticed-
of a deep dive someday.
Have you noticed that he's been tweeting like Jaden Smith
No, I've not.
with the all caps for everywhere? Everywhere
Oh no, he's tweeted like that for years.
I
No.
haven't noticed.
Yeah, no, that's been a Ric Flair. I think I noticed that day one of me having Twitter. I think I noticed that. Yeah, he capitalizes every word for some reason.
If you tweet like that, you sound like you're talking like this.
Woo!
Which he could be. For all I know, he could be.
Yeah, I mean it's Ric Flair, dude. And then another sort of AEW news: Forbidden Door will be Hiroshi Tanahashi's last UK match. Who should it be against? It's Forbidden Door, so I imagine it'll be somebody on the AEW roster, right? Shibata, one more time for real. Great pick. Omega one last time, or Okada one last time, or first time ever, Nigel McGuinness.
I think Shibata's the best pick.
Shibata's probably the best pick for his career. For my personal enjoyment, I think Nigel McGuinness
Yeah.
is the most interesting pick. Plus, it's London, right? But we'll see. WWE news. It was not really announced, but it was reported that WWE will not choose to give R-Truth a new contract. Once his contract is up, he will be leaving World Wrestling Entertainment. Thoughts?
If you were listening to this, I want you to type in Ron the Truth Killings on your YouTube and hit search. And then I want you to go find the entire history of Ron Killings in TNA. Watch that video, and there's a promo within the first couple of segments where he talks about he wonders why they let him go because of who he was, who he looked like.
Yeah, okay, so a little bit backstory. R-Truth's career, if you don't know. He was K-Quick, teaming with Road Dogg in the World Wrestling Federation for a short time. Is released, ends up in TNA when it was weekly pay-per-views.
Yeah, he's right away in TNA as like K Crush. He enters a feud with Hermie Sadler and Sterling Marlin of NASCAR.
Okay, I was going to say those. You could just be making up those names, and I wouldn't know who they are. But if they're NASCAR, that makes sense. Why? Ron the Truth Killings wins the NWA title once or twice? Twice. He was in NWA World Title twice. So technically, he is qualified to be a general manager of a WWE show right now.
Lost it to Jeff Jarrett twice.
Obviously, I mean, if you know anything about weekly pay-per-view era and early weekly TV era TNA, most people lost the NWA World Title to Jeff. I think at one point Jeff Jarrett lost the NWA World Title to Jeff Jarrett.
You know, it's funny. One of his title matches was against Monty Brown.
Yeah, I saw some clips from that this week. There's some great Ron the Truth Killing stuff out there that we've gone back and seen in some of our classics. I haven't never really did a deep dive into TNA the way I have WWE, WCW, and
I
ECW.
think we'll eventually hit the weekly reviews of TNA. I mean, we're gonna have to at some point.
Yeah, we'll at least hit some at some point.
But
yeah.
so we'll definitely see some of that done.
Eventually, something will be like topical enough, and we'll go back and hit one.
It was almost our truth. I believe. So
Yeah, it might be our truth. So where would you like to see him go? That's always the game we play when somebody leaves a company.
I don't know. He's up there in age, so kind of hard to think.
Yeah.
I guess AEW last year.
Yeah, the thing is with him, there's two ways you could go with an AEW run. You could bring back Ron the Truth Killings from TNA, right? And have a run with that. Or there has never been a more perfect contender to be in the conglomeration than R-Truth.
Oh, there is not. No, you're
Like
right.
R-Truth, like just the pure, beautiful chaos that would be Mark Briscoe and R-Truth interacting.
Could you imagine Ishii and R-Truth as a tag team?
My God. Who would he think Ishii is? Buddha?
I don't even know.
Like, who could he possibly, like, what would be the... Does he think he's Pitbull? Like
Yeah.
Mr. 305?
I think it's the way to go. I think it's the way to go.
He thinks, okay, so he thinks Ishii's Pitbull. Obviously, he thinks Mike Bailey is Ralph Macchio. He thinks he's the Karate Kid. Man. And then it'd be so funny if he just automatically knows who Mark Briscoe is. Like, they just connect. Like, he doesn't have some, jokey, like, he just... Yeah, that's Mark Briscoe. That's my boy Mark Briscoe. Finally, some good news regarding the Janelle Grant lawsuit. I think it's ultimately there's more good here than bad. But John Laurinaitis has been dropped from the suit because he has agreed to provide her evidence on the case.
I'm talking because Vince McMahon doesn't do the Champion Carnival.
Yeah. So if you know who John Laurinaitis is, he is involved in this case. He was previously a part of this suit. He was the head of talent relations for a long time. Member of the backstage kind of roster of WWE. I think he was a road agent for a while.
Vice President of Talent Relations.
Yeah, Vice President of Talent Relations. He was the on-screen GM for Raw and SmackDown for a bit. Was formerly Johnny Ace of the Dynamic Dudes in some old WCW stuff.
And
he
All
was in All Japan Pro Wrestling. And former stepfather of the Bella Twins.
And current uncle to former NFL player, whatever his name is, Laurinaitis.
Don't know. So is that his whole resume? I think that we hit,
think
did
so.
we hit
He hit
everything.
all
So
the
that's
important
kind of the
ones.
background on John Laurinaitis. This is good.
Because this is a guy who has a lot of evidence.
Yeah. I mean, that's why. I mean, he was initially part of the lawsuit.
He
so like,
is directly involved, so he knows what
he's I would say he's swapped sides. He's not doing this for the betterment of Janelle Grant's case. He's doing this so that he's not in trouble, so he doesn't face consequences.
This is not his face turn. This is just him saying, "This is his get out of jail free card."
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, he's still in the kind of court of public opinion jail, but
This is him not having to pay a lot of money jail.
Yeah. And other news, Vikingo wins the AAA Mega Championship, sends Del Rio into the GLEAT Vortex. That's the headline I wrote.
It's funny. I've seen a lot of AAA fans not happy about this.
Yeah, well, because as you've talked about for a couple weeks, since WWE announced the AAA acquisition WrestleMania weekend, like you've been talking about this Latin Lover, which I found out second generation gimmick. Because I was looking at some old Rey Mysterio stuff, and one of Rey's first, technically his first WCW match is a crossover event with AAA called Worlds Collide.
Which we should watch.
And Rey is on a team with the original Latin Lover.
Yeah, so I think it's the same family.
Okay.
But it's the same guy. But the second one's getting up there in age, anyways.
Okay.
But he's still the biggest guy, the face.
Yeah. So that'll be the Triple Mania match, Vikingo and Latin Lover.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because they're both faces.
I mean,
you can still build to it, obviously.
do you think WWE cares
No.
about what AAA had previously put in place?
No, I don't.
They bought AAA because AEW worked with CMLL. That's why.
No, they only bought him because of that. Because AAA wanted to be bought. I figured if it was like they didn't want to sell, that would be a working relationship. But
similar to the Noah and TNA relationship.
yeah, but they wanted to sell, so they just sold it.
And now Jeremy Borash and JBL are running it, which
not terrible.
No,
I think JB would be an improvement to their current booking, to Noah's booking.
That is
TNA's
JB
booking.
is in Jeremy Borash,
Yeah.
not John Bradshaw.
Yeah, JB is
Okay.
in Jeremy Borash, yes.
All right. Speaking of TNA legends, Jeremy Borash. Other news: Kosei Fujita wins Best Super Junior 32. Pretty good match with Yo. I love the chemistry they have.
Youngest by far.
Yeah. Well, not it wasn't by far. It was only by like 3 months, wasn't it?
I didn't think it was 3 months. That was more than
I
3
thought that's,
months.
I thought that's what Walker Stewart said on commentary.
I could be wrong.
It was like he was 22 years and 10 months, and whoever was the previous oldest was 23 years and 1 month, is what he said on the broadcast. So it was just by youngest by 3 months, but still the youngest, best of Super Junior winner of all time. I don't remember who the previous youngest was. Do you remember who it was?
I don't know.
Okay,
But he'd be the youngest junior heavyweight champion if he wins the belt.
that's cool. Recently, Callum Newman was the youngest IWGP champion in general in the IWGP title when they won the tag titles. Him and JC Mateo. And then kind of some sad news here, also from the kind of Japan wrestling world. Former IWGP heavyweight champion Salman Hashimikov passes away. Hot Dog and Handshake fans may know him as one of the participants in the Pat O'Connor Memorial Tournament at Starrcade.
Which is definitely a way to remember.
One of the guys that I described as the two most Soviet men of all time.
Look at him. Look at him.
So, rest in peace, Salman. Did not know you had that kind of game. He was champion for like 7 weeks or something in the IWGP World Champion.
This is peak Inokiism right here.
He was like the 5th one.
Yeah, peak Inoki. Yeah.
And then staying in Japan, Hayabusa 2 said in an interview that he is not a new Hayabusa. It is the same Hayabusa from before that finished wrestling in 2001.
Well,
Has come back in a new host body.
we'll say finish wrestling. Yeah, I guess technically you're right.
So I think for comic book fans, think Dr. Fate, where like the helmet is its own entity and can be passed from person to person.
The mask and the face paint is its own entity.
Yeah. It's kind of, you know what it is? It's kind of like the movie The Mask, where it's just kind of taken over by the spirit of Loki, the Norse god, not Tom Hiddleston. Even though Tom Hiddleston getting involved in 01 would be very interesting.
Which begs the question. So this Hayabusa is the third man to play as Hayabusa.
Really?
Under the name, yeah. Because in 2000, Mr. Genosuke stole the mask and face paint in gimmick from Hayabusa. Because he had to stop Hayabusa a little bit because of injuries. So, which begs the question.
But was that more of like an evil guy steals?
Yeah, it
the
was kind
hero's
of
gimmick?
was. Was that technically Hayabusa?
Well, that's an interesting question. Because now did that Hayabusa act in evil ways?
I mean, he attacked Hayabusa.
Was he a heel when he
Yeah.
was wearing the mask and face paint?
He attacked H.
Okay.
H being the actual Hayabusa.
So, yeah, being actual Hayabusa. So I guess maybe is the Hayabusa spirit, could they be influenced by a bad host body?
Or did the spirit reject Genosuke?
It's true, it could be part of it. I mean, it could be kind of a symbiote relationship like for Marvel Comics.
Actually, I booked 01, so why don't you just ask me this question?
Yeah. I don't know. I think we need more details in the Hayabusa lore.
The Hayabusa lore?
The Hayabusa lore, yeah. I think we need to get deeper into that to figure it out. Quick hits. One here, credit to Fightful for this headline. Chris Jericho reveals Sabu wanted to do match on Chris Jericho cruise where loser had to jump off the ship. Awesome.
Of course,
dude.
of fucking course
Awesome.
he did. Of course he did. This is the least surprising thing I've ever heard about Sabu.
Yeah. Just the coolest. He
would do it. You know that.
Oh, he absolutely would. He would. He would probably volunteer to be the loser. He'd probably be like, yeah, I'll put the guy over. So technically, as we're recording this, the 4-hour block of Dynamite Collision Fighter Fest is over.
Or just ending, yeah.
Or just ending. I don't remember what time it started. But so we haven't watched that, obviously, because I've been traveling, you've been working. So we're gonna talk about last week's AEW stuff, and then we'll get to the Fyter Fest next week. First, the Hangman Ospreay Swerve segment that opened Dynamite this week was incredible.
This is a quick hit?
What?
This is a
No,
quick hit?
we're on TV. We're on the TV now. Yeah, the Hangman Ospreay Swerve segment was incredible. Just Hangman's promo to start it off was just the passion. Was there, like, fully there. You really feel like the AEW World Title means more to this man than anything on earth, right? Like, that is. I mean, he's really just portraying that very well. And then Ospreay's whole thing of like, hey, you and like, we can get the belt off Mox if you and Swerve work together. What did you think of this?
Listen, bruv, we can do it, bruv. It's okay, bruv. We can do it, bruv.
Ospreay's haircut aside, obviously, what did you think of this?
I thought it was a good opener promo. Those you want to see from your guys in the main event scene. Working together, take on the big bad who should have been bigger bad, but it's whatever.
Really adds more kind of week-to-week interest to what the storyline's going to be. And how do you think this ends up?
I think Moxley's going to lose the belt all in.
Well, I think Mox loses the belt, but how do you think the whole swerve of it all ends? Like, do you think... Because if you remember at Dynasty when Swerve...
a crisp handshake between Swerve and Hangman.
Well, I was going to say, when Swerve was challenging, Hangman went for the Deadeye on Moxley, right? Like, he hit Moxley with the Deadeye. He was going to help Swerve. Was it Moxley or was it one of the other...
It was
Death
somebody,
Riders?
but it wasn't on Swerve's team.
But it wasn't... Yeah, it was somebody that was against Swerve there. He did help Swerve. I think it might have been one of the other Death Riders because then he kind of looked at both of Moxley and Swerve and then didn't end up hitting either of them. If I remember right, I might be remember that completely wrong. This was a show I watched months ago. So it could end up with Swerve holding out until the very last minute, and he helps at All In. Could this end up with like some Swerve and Ospreay teaming together or wrestling each other at All In? I mean, either one would be big money matches.
I think a team might make more sense.
Against the Bucks, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really interesting week to week. Like I said, what did you think of Tekla's debut? The I don't know what they call her, Spider Lady.
The Toxic Spider.
The Toxic Spider.
It was terribly produced.
Yeah.
I will say that it was horribly produced. They show her Titantron and she's in the ring already.
Yeah.
I didn't like that part, but this is what, a couple weeks after they teased her, I guess.
Yeah, they've been teasing her for like
and
2
that
or
was
3
all
weeks.
they did with it. Was just that one tease.
Well, they did the spider thing in the corner like 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
Oh, okay.
I think it even popped up on the pay-per-view. Who is Tekla?
Better known as Julia, best known as Julia's tag team partner, formerly of Hate,
Okay.
Don Delmondo. She's kind of had a
So Stardom for
Stardom,
everybody
yeah.
who's
They did references I love. She got fired for attacking Taro Okada at All-Star Grand Kingdom,
Who is Taro
the
Okada?
president of Stardom.
Okay. So, in AEW terms, this is getting fired for attacking Tony Khan. Right?
Holy shit, CM Tekla.
CM Tekla. Well, I'm just trying to put it in like terms people know.
Yeah,
this is getting fired for attacking Triple H, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Or
not,
Jeremy Borash.
But after trying to wrestle him, after challenging to a match, wrestling a
And
match.
then, so she wasn't shoot fired, right? This
No.
was the write-off?
It was the write-off, yeah.
Okay.
She was fired because she attacked him after losing a match where if she won, she'd get a 5-minute time limit match against him.
Oh,
But
like
she
the
lost, so she had to join Tom Nakano's cute idol group.
What classic review did we watch that had that gimmick where if the babyface won, he got 5 minutes with the heel manager?
Probably
It was Jim Cornette. It was Jim
Cornette.
Cornette.
A WCW one for sure then.
WCW, yeah. It was some WCW thing. I don't know. That just took me back when you said that. I was like, oh man.
But Tekka's the heel in this situation,
Yeah.
and she lost.
Or was it? No, it was somebody with Paulie Dangerously, wasn't it?
I think it was one of the two.
One of the two, yeah. Anyway.
But Tekka lost that, so she had to join Cosmic Angels, which is Tom Nakano's group.
Okay.
But she threw a fit and ran after Taro Okada and beat him up and threw him over the she stiffed him.
Nice.
Taro Okada's a worker.
There we go.
The entire time. He's not selling him his emotions. He has the biggest, stupidest grin on his face the entire time.
Hey, I mean, maybe he's into that.
I think he just wanted to be a part of the show.
Yeah, that's cool. And then we close. So we opened the show with Owen Hart Cup winner Hangman Adam Page. We closed the show with Owen Hart Cup winner Mercedes Moné, face to face with Toni Storm. Just electric, dude. This was like Rock Hogan.
Oh yeah.
Like this is the biggest possible match AEW could run right now.
That's why it's the main event all in.
It should main event all in. I absolutely believe that.
Scenes with Mina Shirakawa turns heel on Toni Storm.
Could happen.
The lesbian avenged. Just Tony has something wrong to her, and
yeah. I mean, they both lost the third member of their throuple, who was kind of the glue of that group. You know,
that could be the heel turn today.
Yeah, I mean, Mariah May was like the ultimate glue guy there. Really was the Phil Hartman of that group.
She was the 5-year-old who you didn't want to break apart for because you didn't want to have that bad childhood.
Yeah, or in sports terms, she was the TJ McConnell of
she
this
was
group.
The Dario Saric.
She's the Dario Saric, just a good glue guy. Yeah, and now she's gonna be put
She signed a match with the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, she's gonna go to Orlando and get put in a romantic storyline with one of those homophobic frat bros from Evolve or something, or potentially probably something worse.
Liv Morgan,
like having to share the screen with AJ Francis, perhaps. That's not out of the cards.
On the bright side, could share screen of Mance Warner.
Real bleak time for Mariah May here creatively, but hey, she wants that WrestleMania moment, and you know what? She'll get it in 2028 in a packed Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas for their fourth straight
4 years.
Their fourth straight WrestleMania. Everyone in the crowd paid $500,000 for their ticket. And nobody is actually a wrestling fan. They're all just rich people that happen to be in Vegas that weekend. But at least her theme song is produced by Metro Boomin. So that's the future that I see. If I had a crystal ball, that's the future I would see.
Here I am hoping that Indy doesn't get it taken away from him, because I could go to that, and I could go to the Collective, more importantly, during that weekend.
Yep. Dude, God, can you... Wow, yeah. I don't know, hey man, but if the WrestleMania moment's worth it, go for it, girl. Get your bag, get your moment.
She was tweeting about Jinder Mahal. It's over.
Yeah, that is true. And not in the way the rest of us would have been tweeting about Jinder Mahal.
Well, maybe you.
Oh, you're I forget you're a big Jinder Mahal head. You're yeah.
In 2017, I sure fucking was, yeah.
Oh, I hated it. I hated it every second. I was
pissed. There for it, man. I went to that show because of it.
I was so pissed, man.
I went to that show to see, jokingly, yo, what if he wins? I'll go crazy if he wins. And then he won.
I especially hated it because that was the only world title at the time, because that was during absentee Brock Lesnar days.
Yeah.
So I was just, man, I was living off of like whatever Ziggler was doing in the IC title scene at that point. I was living off of U.S. champion Bobby Roode or whatever. Like that was, well, I guess it was Bobby Roode still in NXT at the time, maybe? Yeah. He might still be in NXT. That was definitely around the time I was getting in NXT, so that's probably where where my my eyes were.
Yeah, by the next year,
I'm fully. I mean, I was in the mirror learning the Undisputed Era hand signal. That's what I was doing when Jay
but
was
the next
champion.
year I didn't go. The world did not witness a generational Shane crash out when Asuka got the Money in the Bank briefcase screwed out of her by the little no chin fucker.
Yep.
I just went to Takeover and had
Still,
a better time.
dude. I mean, crazy in the logic of the world that a man won the first women's Money in the Bank, but not within WWE. It's really
Nope.
not that surprising.
Nope.
Just the greater history of the World Wrestling Federation. Collision. A couple fun things here. All lucha based. FTR, Atlantis Jr., and Templario. Thoughts?
Why not?
Just perfect lucha heels. FTR, dude. Just and they kind of referenced their AAA tag title reign, which I thought was fun.
Two CMLL guys.
To two CMLL guys, they were like, we kind of got some luchas. What were they like the Frogs or something? Do you remember when they did that? They showed up in when they won the AAA titles. They showed up as like a lucha team,
Yeah.
but they were like the Frogs or
I
something.
don't remember what it was. I know it was something dumb.
Yeah, and then they won the AAA tags, and then they had they had those, the IWGP, and the Ring of Honor all at the same time, right? Yeah. That match is going to be fun. That match happened tonight, so we'll see. I'm sure it's great, and I'm sure it's setting up something further for Grand Slam Mexico. And then Mascara Dorada and Hechicero just put on a banger in the main event. That was a very fun match. So that was perfect for my like weekly dosage of lucha. On to WWE. Speaking of lucha, SmackDown. The only thing anybody talked about from SmackDown was Los Garza versus Phoenix and Javon Evans, which, from everything I've seen, was pretty good. Did you watch this?
I did not, but
Yeah,
I'm going to now.
Yeah. And then on Raw, we had a pretty good Punk Sammy promo. Sammy just like going out and be like, "Hey, Punk, like, focus on Money in the Bank because we can't let Seth win that match. Seth has never beat you, so if you are in Money in the Bank, that changes the whole equation." Right? Equation, Scott Steiner reference, Braun Breaker in Seth's team, right? Little fun Easter egg there. So that like Sammy being like, do not worry about what Jay and I are doing. Let us handle Braun and Bronson, attorneys at law. And let's like just focus on winning the Money in the Bank qualifier, focus on getting into that match, winning the third Money in the Bank briefcase. Which, hey, by the way, has anybody else ever won two?
No.
Edge had it twice, but he did not win two because he beat Kennedy for his.
Punk.
Well, I said anybody else. Punk
Oh,
won
yeah.
two.
Just
Yeah.
Punk, yeah.
And Miz had it twice, but he beat Otis for
Did
it
Seth
once.
have it twice?
What?
Seth had it twice, didn't he?
No, Seth only won it once.
Oh, so did Dean win that 1 year? Yeah.
Dean won it. Yeah, Dean won it 1 year. Yeah, I think the only two-timer to win it in the ladder match is Punk. And then Edge and Miz both won a ladder match and beat the ladder match winner for the briefcase later. Really, Punk, and then Punk just fully goes against what Sammy was trying to get him to do. Goes out during the Uso and Sammy versus Braun and Bronson match and gets involved, and then ends up losing his match later to El Grande Americano.
Couldn't have been a normal one-on-one match between Punk and AJ. It had to include that masked fucker.
Well, for fuck's sake, man. Like, for one, any other promotion on Earth, any other promotion in the history of professional wrestling, and Punk and AJ locking up for the first time in 20 years, and that crowd, the roof is being blown up. That first time they lock eyes would be exactly like that moment that Kenny and Danielson had on that Grand Slam when they were just standing in the ring, just both kind of like Danielson was just laughing because it was just so much energy, right? Like, it would have been that moment. But in the WWE, nobody gave a fuck, dude. Like, I guess it's because neither one of them use like a dead meme as a catchphrase. Like if AJ was always yelling, "What are those?" or "Damn Daniel," like, or I mean, what else was? If AJ was always bottle flipping, maybe
Punk
they
was
would
doing
have
the
loved
plank.
it. What?
Punk was doing the plank.
Yeah, if Punk was planking all the time. If one of them was doing parkour, maybe, or like, I don't know, like if just any of those things.
Punk left to yell, "It's peanut butter jelly time!"
Yeah. If one of them did Gangnam Style as a taunt, maybe they would.
Well, what if one of them did like I'm a fireman laser stuff too? You think about that?
Okay, that one might be too old for me. I think you've gone too far back.
I feel old now.
But yeah, so since they don't do that, they didn't care because WWE fans don't care about
This is the
professional
Yeet Man.
wrestling.
Funny. Ha ha ha. Yeet, yeet, yeet,
WWE fans
yeet.
don't care about professional wrestling. They care about sports entertainment, and they care about the profits of the company they're watching for some reason. By the way, speaking of profits, did you see the Slim Jim table thing? The Slim Jim logo is going to be on the tables that they pull out from under the ring.
Sabu did not die for this.
No, he didn't. I think Randy Savage would be appalled. This is just.
How many times are you gonna say Stab No Slim Jim after this?
It's fucking Pat McAfee, dude. He's gonna say it 3 times. He's gonna say it once before, once as they're going through the table, and once after every single time. He's gonna do they're gonna show the replay, and he'll say it 2 more times.
I'm being forced to buy the games on PC now again.
Mhm.
There's no fucking way I'm playing a game that has Slim
Can
Jim
you
tables.
modify it to be a funnier logo?
Probably.
Yeah.
The match card for the Funny Waltz is on the table instead.
Yeah. It's just on the table. I think Blue Chew. Or
Boom boom Blue Chew boom boom.
or what's it? Oh, the World Wildlife Fund. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Raw. Basically, it was, we're kind of at a point where I enjoy 1 in every 4 Raws, and last week was one I enjoyed, so this week had to be one I wouldn't like.
That's a good point.
And
Yeah.
I imagine the next 2 weeks I won't like either. But I guess that's just where we are with the WWE product in 2025. It is a bit, dude. It's so bad that Dante from Stash Club has started watching New Japan. Have you been seeing this online on
did.
Twitter?
I did. The first thing you watching Omega Hangman for Omega Okada for the first time, I didn't even know it was possible to watch it for the first time in 2025.
I mean, I just watched those for the first time like last year.
Oh God!
Remember for our classic reviews, like we did.
God.
The classic reviews we've done of those were the first time I watched those matches.
Oh my God! I'm so old.
So,
Those
dude, just wait till he gets to Vader Inoki.
He might question reality when he sees Inoki take that neck bump, dude. He
Dude, he
might question
might.
reality.
I've been loving that. That's been because I've liked him for a long time. I've liked him since like him and the other guy John. I don't know. Yeah, it was John. They were on Lumberland, and then they kind of shot off and started doing their own wrestling
That's
thing.
them?
Yeah, that's Dante from that. It was the guy with the long hair that would always be wearing like beanies. The one that
Damn.
they always joked looked like Seth Rollins.
God, okay.
It's that guy. He's discovering New Japan now.
Let me see that big dude's reaction to New Japan right now.
Today, the new development was he discovered Mike Bailey.
Let me know when he gets to CZW, brother.
Yeah. Let me know when he discovers Necro Butcher. All right, you want to do some Money in the Bank predictions?
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure. 5 of them? Yeah, why not?
4 of them.
There's a 5th match, isn't there?
Oh, is there?
I think so.
Did they announce that today?
I think so.
All right, let me look at it.
It's Brad Baylor versus Ricky Smokes.
Oh, is it?
No.
Special referee Derek. All right.
Imagine
Cage
going
match?
to wrestling school one day, like, what's your ring name? Brad Baylor.
Oh, God. Sounds like he sounds. Brad Baylor would be the name of like a douchey rich guy that's like a side character in 3 episodes of Arrested Development.
I'd wrestle in a Speedo and make sure my body is totally spray tan and oiled before I get out there. But if you're gay,
Yeah, dude. God. Mariah May's not going to survive in the NXT locker room, dude. I'm just telling you. She's not going to have a good time. No, it's still 4 matches.
oh God, okay,
They have not announced another match for this card.
all right.
According to Cage Match, that is. And I didn't see anything when I was looking at Fightful before the show. So you have 4. 4 is your max points on this one. First match, we have Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental title. If Lyra wins, Becky will no longer be able to challenge Lyra for the title. If Becky wins, Lyra has to hold up her hand.
Becky won.
Becky won. All right, I have Becky for 2. So let me get that in. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Naomi versus Stephanie Vaquer versus Alexa Bliss versus Rhea Ripley versus Julia versus Roxanne Perez. This really could go any direction, and I would be fine with it. Shane is gesturing to the Julia shirt he's wearing. And I'll raise you. The guy on my shirt will win. Wearing a Bryan Danielson shirt for
I
you
hope
guys.
so. I hope so.
Um,
He just shows up and takes it and runs.
like Lesnar that one year when Mustafa Ali wouldn't pull down that goddamn briefcase. I think so. That was 2019, right?
You think so?
So that was in a phase of my wrestling watching life where I was kind of a smart mark, right? But that moment brought me back to the little kid screaming at the TV, just screaming at Ali to bring down that briefcase, dude. Just yelling at him, man. So you're going with Julia for how many?
Yep, 3.
3. All right, I went with Roxanne for 1. I think this is a very unpredictable Money in the Bank, and I just kind of would like Roxanne to win it. Because I think that'd be fun. Really, I predict these, or what I want to happen is based solely around Raw because I don't watch SmackDown. And it would be interesting to me if there was more tension between Roxanne and Liv because Roxanne had the Money in the Bank. So we'll see. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Seth freaking Rollins, Los Angeles Knight, Penta, Andrade, Solo Sikoa, and El Grande Americano.
He's double dutying it?
Yeah, it's the same day. El Grande Americano won the triple threat, right? And then Chad Gable is wrestling on Worlds Collider.
He's double duty. That's crazy.
2 different venues, too.
Chad Gable's sick.
Because isn't one of
He's
them...
going to use at the Forum, and then he has to
into
go
the-
all
into
the
a
way.
dome.
He has to go to the Dome.
He's got to go to Inglewood, yeah.
Dude, what?
Oh, hey, he's on that Mike Bailey type beat, dude. Which wasn't Mike Bailey WrestleMania weekend?
Yes.
Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Too? Yeah. So who you got?
Seth for 4.
Seth also for 4. And I mostly picked him because him matching an accomplishment that only Punk has plays well into their storyline.
Yeah.
And he's the most interesting guy in the WWE right now, potentially. You know what I mean? Like, arguably the most interesting guy in WWE right now.
I'm still waiting for Punk to be written off for his Saudi sabbatical.
Yeah, we might not see it. I don't know. If so, some quotes of his are going to come up quite a bit.
Oh, I'll tell you right now. If he's on that show, I'm telling you, no podcast.
No podcast?
No podcast that week. I'm not coming on.
Yeah. Shane will be too busy angrily tweeting at CM Punk.
If I search your car right now, Phil, what would I find? Drugs?
Probably like dog toys.
Dog toys.
Pepsi cans.
No, he doesn't drink soda anymore.
He doesn't drink soda
Poppy
anymore.
cans.
Poppy cans, yeah.
AJ's like chapstick she lost in the crack of the seat.
Yeah. Some like ECW DVDs.
A Portillo's wrapper he didn't know away yet.
Whatever, yeah. Cubs hat.
Blackhawks hat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, probably all that.
Probably totally nothing.
Probably
more.
all that. And then, God, your main event for Money in the Bank 2025. We have John Cena teaming with Logan Paul against Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. I know, my prediction, no matter what happens, Rikishi's going to be pissed off about it. That man ain't never happy with his son's booking. Either one, all three of them. How many does he have? It's just they're in the WWE. It's just Solo. And
Solo, and yeah.
And the Usos. Okay, yeah, all three of them. He's never a quote about him liking it. And Jay's the fucking world champion. He's facing John Cena on pay-per-view in Los Angeles, California, Jay's home state. Like, that's crazy.
So
to be upset about that booking.
It's not Jay versus Solo versus Jimmy.
Yeah, I know.
Special guest ref Jacob.
So I went with Uso and Cody for 3 here. Because the only person I could realistically see taking the pin in this match is Logan Paul.
Give me the former tag champs.
Uso and Cody.
Yes. Give me the team that brought you Yeet.
That is true. This whole thing came from when they won the titles off of Judgment Day at like Fastlane or Payback or some shit.
Something like that.
And Jay got a little drunk before the press conference.
They both
did.
They both got a little fucked up.
And that's 2 for you, by the way. That's the last.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, basically me with WWE at this point. This is, what did I say to you? I was like doing the notes for this and watching Raw, and I just keep mumbling. I hate WWE.
It's
like a crazy person.
You force yourself to watch Raw every week.
Mm-hmm.
I just watch CM Punk and Julia stuff. That's all I watch.
Yeah,
my life is a lot better right now.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, Sammy stuff is worth watching most of the time. I always get excited anytime Sheamus is on my screen. I'm liking that.
I'm gonna watch Worlds
anytime I'm able to watch something from SmackDown's tag division, I will check it out because that's just a beautiful tag division. Yeah.
The new SmackDown 6.
Hey, Kyrie's back. She's wrestled the last couple weeks.
The new SmackDown 6 is just Julia in the tag team division.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, yeah. I think I previously said the new SmackDown 6 was DIY, the Machine Guns, and the Street Profits, but they're all like significantly older than the SmackDown 6 were in 2002.
Yeah. Chris Sabin, you are not getting any younger, brother.
Oh, no, he's not. Tape up the light tubes, take the door off its hinges. It's time for Shane's GCW Corner.
Okay, big one. So we're going to start with a little sad news, though. Jeff Cannonball is being inducted into the Deathmatch Hall of Fame. This was an impromptu one because we do not know how much longer he'll be with us because he was just diagnosed with ALS this past couple of weeks.
Lou Gehrig's disease for baseball fans.
Mark Cuban did donate $10,000 to his GoFundMe.
Yeah, so we're shocked that Mark Cuban knows who he is, right?
Yes.
Okay, just to
Which
make
begs
sure
the
we're on the same
question,
page.
Mark, who is your favorite DCW wrestler right now? My money is on.
It'd have to be a European.
Oh shit! It's Delvecchio. 100% it's Delvecchio.
Or the Georgian guy that shows up in Bloodsport.
That too. That is also a great.
But Delvecchio would be a good one. Yeah, it's probably Delvecchio.
Could you imagine Mark?
Isn't Delvecchio probably going to NXT?
Yeah, in like September. Could you imagine Mark Cuban sitting down at like 2 a.m. and turning on the Champion Carnival to watch Delvecchio and Eagle Blanc?
To watch what?
The Champion Carnival.
Oh, Delvecchio and Eagle Blanc.
Yeah.
Is it Eagle? Is that how you say that?
I think so. It's French.
Yeah, it is weird.
That I know is big. There's a. However, we gotta talk about. I have a tournament for us to talk about.
Oh yeah, you know I love me some tournaments, bro.
I know you do. So we're gonna start with this is the first part we're gonna do. They'll get some KC updates after this one, but first we're gonna talk about this weekend. Is 2 big shows for GCW, and it's Deathmatch Hall of Fame.
Yep.
We're gonna start with the Cage of Survival, big show, dog collar match, Janela Koger.
Yeah, crazy.
Bear Bronson makes his deathmatch debut against Slade.
Cool.
Masha versus KJ Orso for the JCW title.
All right, I'm into that.
Ciclope, Miedo Extremo in the Cage of Survival.
Okay, that's awesome.
8-man tag team match, Team GCW versus the Juggalos.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out there. I think I'll tune in for the Masha match. and the Ciclope match, and then I think I'm out. I think I'll check. I'm not actually gonna do that. I would do that if I was still paying for Triller Plus.
I'm hoping that there's at least one Juggalo at the KC show.
I'm not. There wasn't one already announced.
Yeah,
Was it
Mickey Knuckles,
Mickey
yeah.
Knuckles? Yeah.
But she's a deathmatch, so that doesn't count. That doesn't count at all.
I was hoping for 0. I think
Ruffo,
really like any event I'm going to, I'm hoping for 0 Juggalos. Just something that I
hope Chad and Joker hear this. But I have there's one little. I have to tell a little fun story here. At my first ever indie show, Ruffo the Clown was the world champion.
Interesting.
I have a picture with him on my mom's Facebook.
Nice.
I would love if he was there to show him that picture and say, "Hey, can we take another picture together?"
Mine was much cooler. It was Jeremy Wyatt.
Yeah, well, you know what? That was me and you, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I saw mine had a full blue ring, so you know how it was good. That was good
That's
shit.
cool. You know, I love me a blue ring.
And then
I've been watching hella Saturday Night.
we got the tournament of Survival 10, the 10th deathmatch tournament they do. You know, they do an NGI, they do this one as well. This one's the bigger one.
Okay.
I want us to quote unquote predict.
Okay.
I know you're not gonna know much of these names, but we'll figure it out.
How many people are in the tournament total? Is it 8-man, 16-man, 32? What are we looking at?
9.
It's a 9-man tournament. Okay.
There's a 1 3-way in the beginning.
1-3 in the beginning. Okay.
So we'll
I am predicting I will know. Okay, wait. Do you think I will recognize like over under 3.5 of them?
I'm gonna say over.
Do over? Okay.
Yeah,
we'll see.
John Wayne Murdoch against
Okay.
Mr. Danger.
Sure. I don't know Mr. Danger, but I know John Wayne Murdoch.
Beastman, Redacted, Otis Koger.
I know Redacted and Kogar, so there's 3 already.
They get the 4, the last one.
Okay.
The Bev versus Daiju Wakamatsu.
Don't know either one of them.
Tremont versus Mystery.
Okay, I know Tremont. Okay, so I know 4. Yeah. I was a pretty good line from me though. 3.5.
No,
that was a good line.
That's the last line. So first round is a Johnny Murdoch versus Mr. Danger.
I mean, I want to go Murdoch, but it's just because he's the one I've heard of.
Murdoch's going in as the American Deathmatch ace, though, so it's the seasoned vet versus the new guy.
I could really always go either way. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, you're the deathmatch guy.
Yeah.
You think Murdoch's got it? Okay.
Yeah. Beastman, Redacted Koger.
Koger's got a lot of momentum.
Yeah, he's got.
Didn't Redacted do well in a tournament similar to this?
Yes,
recently?
he's also kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So he didn't mind.
I remember. I feel like did Redacted go far in the NGI or something?
No, he was out first round, but he had it was a good match.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm remembering. But Koger's got a lot of momentum.
I think Koger will win. I think there'll be some intervention.
I mean, Koger could win this whole thing.
Yeah, I think there will be
He's hot right now.
There'll be some interference in one of his matches. I don't know which one. Not this one.
From Otis.
From Otis, Atticus, and their cousin.
Yeah.
They're pulling
Otis Kogar, to be clear, not Dozovic.
Otis should be so. He just shows up.
Deathmatch show, dude.
I would pop.
Dude, speaking of people I want to see conglomerate, and Otis would be.
So
high on my list.
So good. The Bev versus one of Taka's boys, Taka Michinoku's boys.
Oh,
yes.
Michinoku Pro.
Daiju Wakamatsu.
I mean, my allegiances lie with just 4 guys, so by extension, I'm gonna go with that guy.
I'm going Daiju too here.
Okay.
And the most interesting GCW match, actually in quite a while, is I have no clue who this is gonna be, at all.
With Tremont.
Yeah, I
threw out Nick Gage.
I've seen
when I saw
3 people who I think it'd be Gage.
Gage is the obvious one to bring in people like me that don't really know deathmatch, but we know Nick Gage.
Yeah. So it could be Gage.
Mm-hmm.
It could be
Jericho's not doing much.
It could be. Yes, it could be Jericho. Yeah. It could be Gage. It could be somebody else, or it could be.
Could be Janela.
No, I don't think it's be Janela.
Not Janela.
But I'm gonna go to GCW's cage match, and go to the owners, and this guy, Dane Amato.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Brett Lauderdale. I was like, that would be
It's not
crazy.
Brett Lauderdale. No, the former owner of GCW, Dane Amato, who now runs ICW No Holds Barred. I think it could be him.
Could be him.
He's been tweeting about it, too. Whereas Gage has not been
tweeting. Could be Carlito.
Could be.
I mean, he's got some.
They do
some crazy shit in Puerto Rico.
It could be Savio Vega.
That'd be actually kind of dope.
It would.
That would get me
that
very
would
excited.
actually rule.
That would get me very excited. New Hayabusa.
That would be even better than Tommy Vega. Actually, I think about it.
Despy. Despy would be awesome.
That'd be fun.
I mean, we know he's got a death match on the horizon with that.
This is practice.
That Jun Kasai fellow, right?
But he just practices and he fucks around to win to practice and wins the whole thing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. Do they have a trophy for that?
Probably.
Oh, dude, him holding up a deathmatch trophy and the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, dude. All right, anything else?
All right, so
I saw we got some Bloodsport announcements this week
some
too.
Bloodsport Japan announcements. Shotzi Blackheart returns to DCW in with Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Parker and Jimmy Lloyd also going over there. So the guys are going. Emo Fight was announced, the second one ever. This is big news for Alley Catch, Brooke Havoc, Drew Parker, Elena Black.
I feel like the new Garbage Daddies could show up at Emo Fight. I feel like Jordan Oliver and Alan Price could show up at Emo Fight.
The ballpark show is listed as for all ages, so don't get your hopes up.
Hey man, my hopes are up for any ballpark show.
I mean, it's fair.
I love baseball stadium.
But I was hoping for a death match bit where they take a light tube and use it as a baseball bat.
Oh, of course, yeah, that'd be good.
And I got 3 KC based announcements for you here.
Mm-hmm.
The man that Bryan Danielson called the best indie wrestler in the world, Adam Priest, is going to be in Little Rock.
Okay.
I think he makes the move to the KC too.
That'd be cool.
And again, Bryan Danielson called him the best indie wrestler in the world.
The best cosign you could get. I mean, that is like, man, I don't even know. That's like Will Ferrell saying this guy's the next big comedic actor or something. You know what I mean?
Much.
Like, that is huge.
If she wins, this is to be a world championship match. Masha Sam versus Mickey Knuckles of Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Gross.
Again, no blood in Missouri, so this match probably not going to be good.
Yeah, because GCW's never broken that rule before.
Fair,
you know what I mean?
Fair, but come on. If there's blood here, I will be cheering my ass off.
Just come over to the Kansas side, dude. Do a GCW show in like Wichita or something.
We got so many venues you can run at, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine like Granada or something.
And
then the world title match got announced for KC. Effie will take on motherfucking Noah Legend, WWE Legend, WCW Legend, Hot Long and a Handshake Legend, Too Cold Scorpio.
Let's go, dude.
He's out of jail. He's ready to go.
Effie versus Too Cold fucking Scorpio.
If I had a nickel for every time I've seen Too Cold, I'd have 2 nickels.
It's not a lot, but it's crazy to have it twice.
I know it has.
Dude, that's... I mean, Too Cold Scorpio. Just, where do we even start? I mean...
I once saw... I saw...
Name a major company he's been there, by the way. Like, he wrestled in ECW.
He wrestled for all of them.
He wrestled for everyone.
All of them.
Did he wrestle in TNA?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Dude, Scorpio rules. One of the favorite wrestlers of Xavier Woods. I know that.
I saw Bull do a tumbleweed. Bull Nakano do a tumbleweed after he started wrestling, dude.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, that's just... It's insane that we're going to see Too Cold Scorpio.
I know.
That is
again
crazy.
for me.
Well,
again for me.
First time for me. That's... Yeah. Definitely not somebody who I expected to be on the list of people I'd seen.
The first match that I saw live was him and Jonathan Gresham, by the way.
Oh, that's
just gonna throw that out there for you.
I want to see Gresham. Gresham's.
I think he's there.
You think he's there?
I think he's there. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm down. That Gresham's ESJ match. Amazing.
I was hoping for the astronauts to be there. Unfortunately,
don't think so.
My Bati dreams are gonna live on for a little bit longer.
That sucks. You'll see him eventually.
I'm going to go to Japan. How you can see him there.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe they'll be on that indie collective or whatever.
They're going to be on something.
Yeah. Anything else from GCW?
Not right now.
Did you want to do your new segment?
Oh,
Did you actually want to do that?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's just do it right now.
Right.
Do you have it on your phone? Because I'm still serving battery here.
Oh, okay.
So we stay up far too late.
Yeah, we have weird sleep schedules. Mine's because of my work schedule. I'm typically working till 11 p.m. So I like to be awake after work.
Yeah,
I work a lot of time before
I work till
work.
10, so.
So like I'll stay up late after work and then just get up and sleep in. You know. Let me open the right app here. So just set this up.
So I joked about this a couple weeks ago, but we're gonna have this new segment called Crack of Dawn Texts, where we just share some of our wrestling thoughts that we say each other at the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, mine's FMW related.
So mine alternates every night between either being WCW Saturday Night from like 92 or WWE SmackDown from 2002. Let's see. Last night was a more serious one about Vince. I'll skip that.
You can do the one from 2 nights ago where the power went out. Where I was watching Bob Backlund in Japan.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Here, I gotta find. Cause we don't just text that late at night. We have a lot of stuff going on here. One of mine was Cena's debut was the same night Kurt Angle removed his wig and embraced his baldness.
I said like Chicago's a great place for that.
Yeah, something like that. You said that the power went out during something very important. I thought it was going to be one of Toru Yano's DVDs. But it's like, oh yeah, the Bob Backlund Japan run, very important. What else do we got here? Let's see, that's in the PM. That's not. One of mine was just a picture of Vader, and it says "When men were men." This is a great.
Damn
one.
straight.
This is a great back-to-back combo here from me. This WCW Saturday Night taping has an abnormal amount of kids in the audience, and they love Z-Man. Followed immediately by Johnny B. Bad was a drag queen, and you can't convince me otherwise.
I'm gonna start writing them down from now on, probably, because there's some good ones.
Let me see what else was good late night. A lot of TW talk in here. Playing 2K. You said playing 2K25 when Scott Steiner pulls a Tiger Driver out of his ass, and then I wrote Tiger Driver 141 2/3.
I tried so many other times to get him to do it. He wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it?
No, he just did the one time. 2002 Triple H is a very interesting shaped person.
Yeah, 2002 Triple H that was what started this. Was 2002 Triple H is a very interesting. He was in it, just a fascinating shape. You know what I mean? Like, it brings up a lot of questions. Like, how did he become that shape? Was he intending to achieve that shape? Has anyone else ever been that shape?
These are not late night texts, but they're so good. They're so good. Watching All In and its serious main event be like watching Jordan drop 55 on Madison Square Garden and watching a Bobcats Clippers game 2007. Yeah. I said, do not disrespect Emeka Okafor. And you said, he's the CM Punk of this analogy. And I said, does this make Gerald Wallace the Braun Baker?
Yeah, and then I think it said yes, and Elton Brand is Gunther or something. Love that. We can just do a whole episode of random NBA and wrestling comps.
Really good.
All right, on to our favorite things this week.
Yes.
All right, this, of course, is where I hand out the gold, silver, and bronze hot dog. Shane will hand out the gold, silver, and bronze handshake to our three favorite things this week. Shane, what gets the bronze handshake this week?
It's going to be... Let me hear yours first. I got to think about this for a little bit.
My bronze is Michael Cole doing Raw in a TJ McConnell jersey.
That is my bronze as well, actually, now that I think about it.
That was awesome. So,
I wasn't my favorite TJ McConnell jersey.
No. So the setup here was a couple weeks ago when the Knicks Pacers series started. Michael Cole from upstate New York. He's a big Knicks fan. And, of course, Pat McAfee has the Indiana connection, so he became a Pacers fan since he lived in Indiana for so long. So they made a bet. If the Pacers won, Cole would have to do an episode of Raw in a tank top. If the Knicks won, McAfee would have to do an episode of Raw wearing a suit. So just equally would be uncomfortable. So the Pacers win, of course. They're going to face the Thunder in the finals. And Michael Cole doesn't just wear a tank top. He wears a TJ McConnell jersey. The funniest possible player for him, especially because, like, Tyrese Halliburton's on that team and has a working
on the team still.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He's Tyrese's backup, but Tyrese has a working relationship with WWE. Tyrese has a shirt on WWE Shop right now. And he wore a TJ McConnell jersey, dude.
Ball knower.
Ball knower. TJ McConnell, former Steels champion, I'm pretty sure. A couple years ago, he was Steels champ. Just a feisty white guy point guard. Was he a member of the process?
Yes,
I forgot about that.
Yes, he was.
I forgot. Yeah. But he's been a Pacer for a long time. Him and Miles are like the longest tenured Pacers at this point.
I think so.
He's been a Pacer for a while. But yeah, that was really funny. What is your silver handshake?
This is my weekly Joshi pick of the
of course.
week. GHC Women's Title match: Takumi Iroha versus Kyuki Amare.
Okay, I'll just write that down later. Did you say GHC Women's?
Yes.
I didn't even know they had one of those.
They made it a couple of months ago.
Oh, okay. So this is like a new.
It's newish.
And is this in Noah or is this like the IWGP where it's in a different company?
It's Noah, but it's Marigold and Marvelous right now.
Okay. So it is like the IWGP where it's mostly in Stardom, but it's technically a New Japan belt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's defended in Noah shows only, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's defended occasionally in New Japan shows, too.
It's on their Monday Magic weekly show they do.
Of course. Daddy Magic involved in that at all?
I wish.
Oh, that'd be awesome. My silver is going to be Mascara Dorado and Hechicero. I really like that. Was probably my favorite. Definitely was my favorite match this week. Just two lucha guys doing their thing.
That's actually my gold.
That's your gold?
Yeah.
Okay. My gold is the Hangman Swerve Ospreay promo segment. So there we go. Those are our favorite things from this week. Lightning round. We're still going to include the AEW stuff because neither one of us have watched that yet. So Fyter Fest, we have Atlantis Jr. and Templario versus FTR. Out of 10, how excited are you for that?
An 8.
8, all right. Mina Shirakawa and Tony Storm versus Julia Hart and Sky Blue.
A 9.
Okay. Mark Briscoe versus John Moxley. No title on the line.
If I didn't give that a 10, you would have to take me away and put me in a funny farm.
I mean, I feel like if you dropped it points because you're not a fan of Moxley right now, that would
make
sense. But I mean, these two. I mean, if you just let them do what they want, they're going to tear the house down.
If you gave them a GCW ring and tell them, just do what the fuck you want.
I mean, dude. Yeah. I think you just got to give them 10 minutes and let them bleed. And it's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Commander and Jetball versus LFI.
Another 8.
Right. Kenny Omega versus Claudio Castagnoli versus Brody King versus Mascara Dorada for the international title.
10.
Absolutely. I love the styles that are represented in this. Kenny, kind of that hybrid strong style. Brody King, big meaty men slapping meat. Claudio Castagnoli, kind of more of a catch European style. And then Mascara Dorada, your lucha rep. Love it. I've talked about this all the time. Claudio is potentially the best in the world at being a base for luchadors. I'm sure him and Mascara Dorada will put together something spectacular in this match.
Probably.
On Raw, Jey Uso, versus Gunther for the heavyweight championship. Technically, he's not defending his title, but technically the men's Money in the Bank match will happen before that tag team match, so it could be a different guy facing Gunther. But right now, it's Jey Uso versus Gunther for the heavyweight title.
Dude, a 2.
Okay, what is it if it's literally anybody in the Money in the Bank match?
An 8.
Gunther? Okay. Worlds collide.
Could you imagine Gable versus Gunther for the title?
But it'd be Grande Americana.
He'd have to mask for me, maybe a 10.
Okay. Also, I mean, just Rollins, LA Knight.
Literally anybody else.
Andrade.
Oh, Penta or Andrade against Gunther would be a 10.
You just let them cook. If you let Andrade pull that NXT Andrade back out.
You know what? No.
Awesome.
Anybody else is at the 10.
Yeah. That's fair. Worlds collide. We have Aerostar, Octagon Jr., and the most interesting man on this card, Mr. Iguana.
Who Michael Cole is a big fan of.
Yeah, dude. Did you see him on NXT? He's just a guy with green face paint and an iguana puppet.
I know. He is. And it rules.
Like, dude, this guy's actually awesome. And he's teaming with Octagon Jr. Never seen Jr., but I love Senior, right? And Aerostar, who's one of, like, the 5 guys that I knew when WWE bought AAA. They are facing Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Lince Dorado because Joaquin Wilde got hurt. So hopefully for a speedy recovery for Joaquin.
Give that a 7.
Okay. Cheek Tormenta and Dallas versus Lola Vice and Stephanie Vaquer.
There's a fun story here, but the least sucks, so I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay. Also, Booker T and WWE have cultivated an audience that is only going to be weirdly horny about this match and not enjoy it for wrestling whatsoever.
Because there's a story here, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Former tag team. They face each other.
Really? Who's the former Stephanie and who?
And
Tormenta or Dallas?
I think Dallas. Well, either one, it's there.
Mm-hmm. Ethan Page defending the North American title against the Laredo Kid, Ray Phoenix, and Javon Evans.
This will be a 10 if I was Ethan Page. It's an 8.
Okay. Yeah, Laredo Kid, another one of the guys I knew. El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown versus Santos Escobar and Los Garza.
Listen, we've watched a trios match with Psycho Clown's father, and it was weirdly the favorite match we saw on that show.
Who's Psycho Clown's father?
Razzo de la Plata.
No shit.
Yeah.
From the Kendo match. Yeah. I was thinking of... So, for those who don't know, the classic that's going to come out this week is Festival de Lucha, right? I was thinking it was going to be somebody off that. I was thinking you were going to tell me it was like Venom or something. De Plata from the Kendo match.
Yeah.
That's
fucking
insane.
Super Porky.
Super Porky.
Yeah.
Is Psycho Clown's dad.
I think that's what I read. Yeah, it is.
This is the biggest live Hot Dog and a Handshake discovery since the time we found out that Brooks Jensen is Bolt Buchanan's son. This goes right up there with that.
Super Porky, dude. 10.
All right, yeah, go for it.
10 of the week.
Main event, Vikingo Gable, AAA title.
This is the 10 of the week
That's
for me,
the 10
actually.
of the week for me. That or the International 4-way.
If we could untear Vikingo's ACL, this would be 11.
Mm-hmm. Give him... Whose ACL should we give
If
him?
it's the Vikingo we saw...
Can we just give him Brad Baylor's ACL? Can we just swap it? Magically swap their ACLs?
We should be able to, yes.
Okay, cool.
But if it's the Vikingo we saw, 11.
Dude, that match, still the greatest match I've seen live. Vikingo versus Kenny on Dynamite. Dude, I have watched thousands of wrestling matches. I've watched easily thousands of people wrestle.
How
right?
viral is the 630 going to go?
I don't know. It's going to look stupid. But, just to put it in perspective, I watched thousands of wrestlers. I've probably watched tens of thousands of matches. Vikingo was doing shit in that match that I had never seen before. Not even close to anything I'd seen before. The table spot stands out of my mind when I think about it. It's the first thing I think of. There was a great table spot in that. But just, God, Vikingo was so good. And then you put him in there with Kenny. That was just magic. That was a magic
Your chances
night.
of winning drastically go down.
Yeah. Match recommendation of the week. We're going to go to NWA TNA number 100. This is the weekly pay-per-views. Ron Killings versus Jeff Jarrett versus AJ Styles versus Chris Harris versus Raven. This is the first ever TNA King of the Mountain match. And it is, according to Shane, one of Ron the Truth Killing's best matches. So we'll go with that. As I mentioned, if you want to listen to more of us, WCW Festival de Lucha will be coming out this week. And ironically, WWE Vault posted that show. We watched a show that had been posted on YouTube by just some random guy. But WWE Vault put out that show. So watch that show, then watch our review. If you want more, we put out SummerSlam 94 this past week, celebrating the late, great Owen Hart. We've done other WWE and WCW shows. We've done ECW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, TNA, as we mentioned. All over the place, CZW, WXW, NOAH. So go check that out. And we will be back next week talking Money in the Bank, talking New Japan Dominion predictions. So, I will be back. Shane will not be here the next 2 weeks. So it'll either be me and Joka or just me flying solo. So we'll see how that goes. And as always, just remember to enjoy wrestling.